Hi, this lecture is about the verbal section of GRE. So let's begin. So the verbal section has three broad question types. First question type is called text completion. Second question type is called reading comprehension. And finally, the third question type is called sentence equivalence. So let's talk about text completion. In text completion, you get a typical fill in the blanks type question with 1, 2 or 3 blanks. Each blank is provided with 3 options. Remember, for each blank, you have a set of options. So for example, here you have a single blank text completion. So here you have a single blank text completion. Here is your fill in the blank question with only a single blank. In this example, you have a question with 2 blanks. This is your blank number 1 and your blank number 2. Now remember, for each blank you have a set of answers. So for example, for blank 1, you have options A, B and C, and in blank 2, you have options D, E and F. Remember, one mistake that some new students make is that they think that these are paired answers. So they think that A and D is a paired answer, that if A is the correct answer for blank A, so D would be the correct answer for blank 2. That is not the case. So this is a set of answers for blank A and this is a separate set of answers for blank B. Here you have a triple blank text completion with 1, 2 and 3 blanks. This is, or these are the options for blank A or blank 1. These are options for blank 2 and these are options for blank 3. Remember, to get a complete score, you have to get all 3 blanks correct. There are no partial scoring. The second type of verbal question is called sentence equivalence. In sentence equivalence, you always get a single blank. You don't have a double blank or a triple blank sentence equivalent question. With the question, you get 6 options: A, B, C, D, E and F. Your job is to find 2 options. So remember, you're not supposed to select one answer. For a complete correct answer, you need to choose 2 answers that both will complete the meaning of the sentence. So remember, you have to choose 2 options that are synonymous and that will complete the meaning of the sentence individually. The third and final type of verbal question type is the reading comprehension. Like a typical comprehension question on the GRE, reading comprehension, you get a reading passage followed by 2, 3 or 4 questions. The question may ask you for the main purpose of the passage or for an inference in the passage, meaning you need to identify an assumption from the passage, or it may ask you for a particular detail from the passage, a detail that was explicitly stated in the passage. Or finally, the question may ask you to strengthen or weaken the claim or conclusion of the passage. So these are not the only but 4 major types of questions that are usually asked on the reading comprehension type questions. So for example, you could get a passage like this, which is a small to mid-sized passage, and it would be followed by a question. So this particular question is an MCQ type question where you have the prompt followed by 5 options. You may also get a question where you have to choose, or where you may choose more than one answers. So this is what your typical RC or reading comprehension question looks like. Remember that the passage could be a small passage or mid-sized passage or a long passage. The passage could be as small as 100 words long or as long as 400 or 450 words long. Alright. So your first set of questions are typically your text completion questions. After you've completed 5 to 6 text completion questions, you get another wave of questions from the reading comprehension. You either get one long passage with 4 questions plus a short passage, or you can get a mix of short and medium-sized passages with 1, 2, or 3 questions. Typically, at this point, you have to solve anywhere from 5 to 6 reading comprehension questions. Next is a wave of sentence equivalence type questions, and you have to solve 4 or 5 such questions. And finally, you again get 4 reading comprehension questions with 2 short passages or 2 medium passages. You may also get 1 paragraph argument, which is a bit similar to reading comprehension, but instead of a straightforward reading comprehension type question, you have to answer this question a bit logically. Okay, so let's talk about the question type distribution. As you saw earlier, that you get anywhere from 5 to 6 text completion questions on a single section. So that means that the text completion questions comprise 25 to 30% of the verbal section. Then you also get 25 to 30% questions from the sentence equivalence question type. And finally, you get 45 to 50% reading comprehension question types. So the reading comprehension question types are the most important as well as the hardest type of questions on the GRE. But you need to be prepared for all 3 types of questions to score well on the verbal section. In the future videos, we'll be solving the different types of verbal questions that you get on the GRE. So stay tuned for future videos.